weeks, we're going to be looking at the book of Hebrews. We're going to be combining this with some other stories as well. And over the series, roughly what we're doing is we're kind of looking at the character of Jesus and how he's described through this book in the Hebrews. So we're going to put that together today by making a treasure box that's going to be the container for all the crafts that we're going to make. So everything that describes Jesus that we make over the next few weeks are going to fit together in this treasure box. So Richard, I've done step 1 already, but if you
shall I read it out? Okay, step 1. Write some words that describe Jesus on the large part of the template. Write Jesus on the smaller rectangle. Okay, so here we go.
Here we go. These are the words I've chosen. So I've got Messiah and Son of God, Healer and Prince of Peace, Redeemer, Amazing, Perfect and Glorious. So I've done that already, and I've got Jesus on the lid. Okay,
and that's on your template thing. So you turn
that's
it
on my
upside down.
template. I've turned it round to do that.
Right,
okay. So step 2, Rich.
Right, so step 2, fold on the lines of the big template. Put double-sided tape on the squares. Peel off the top layer and stick the squares to the rectangles to make a box. So
you can see these lines here. These are the ones that I'm folding on.
So you might give it a good fold.
Okay.
It's worth taking your time with this to get this right.
It is. It'll look a lot neater if you do, and as you're going to use this over the next few weeks. So these are the squares that you need to stick the tape on. So this double-sided tape is quite nice. If you've got a church craft kit, you'll have a roll of this, and it rips.
That's handy.
So that makes it really easy to use. Okay, so I'm going to put 2 on each square.
This is double-sided sticky tape.
Double-sided sticky tape.
This is getting like proper Blue Peter now.
It is.
Next week we're doing Tracy Island.
We're not making Tracy Island next week. I am so sorry to disappoint you. I'm going to peel these off, and I'll put this side together, and then I'll do the other half.
Okay.
This does peel off despite what
Peels off really easily.
Yes, it does actually peel off quite easily. If you would like to make it peel off easier, before you stick it onto the square, if you just fold over a corner back onto itself, then you'll have a little bit of top layer that's not stuck to the sticky stuff. So there you go.
You could use a glue stick if you didn't.
If you hadn't got a church craft kit, you could use a glue stick. You could staple this. You could use sellotape. Absolutely, there are other ways of making this work. In fact, if you don't like this double-sided tape and you have church craft kits, you'd still have sellotape, I hope, from the last kit to use. There you go. So finish this one, and then we'll peel these off.
High exciting.
One.
And it's like card, isn't it? It's not actual paper, so it's a bit easier and more sturdy.
I've made this out of card because you're going to use this over a few weeks, so I wanted it to be relatively strong. There we go.
I think this craft will take the average person about half an hour to do a good job on it.
We'll see. Right, so there's my box, so that's my favourite side, so I'm going to make that in the front. That's step 2.
Step 2, right, okay. Step 3. Fold in the tubs on the semicircles, put double-sided on the rectangle, peel off the top layer, stick on the semicircles to make a lid. In other words, do loads of folding and sticking.
So the tabs are already cut for you if you've got a church craft kit. I did these all for you at my house before you got the kit. So these literally just need folding like this. It's quite quick. And then you need to turn this over so it doesn't have writing on, and you're going to stick tape on the long side. Now again, if you don't have a craft kit, you could actually make a rectangle lid a bit like the base, or you could use sellotape or glue stick or other things to stick these on. I'll show you in a minute how I decided this. When I was doing this, when I was mocking it up, to decide the side, I curled it over like this and then drew that on some paper, if you don't have a craft kit.
I think someone's been watching those architectural design programs on telly.
Well, you might as well watch some telly from time to time at the moment. There's not a lot of other things to do while we can't go out more than once a day.
So sort of rolling it on.
So I'm rolling it on.
Is it flush, or you made it like a little lip over
I've
there?
made it fairly flush, but it doesn't have to be perfect. You want it relatively flush, or it might not quite be.
Sticky.
No, it might not be big enough to fit the box.
Okay.
But if this goes slightly out, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, I think this is a bit of a tricky bit. Take your time with this.
Okay.
Is it tricky to readjust once you've stuck it?
No, if you've got this tape peels off quite easily actually, so you'd be alright if you needed to readjust. Look. There you go.
Looks
Right,
solid
so
enough.
that is step 2 done. I've got my box and I've got my lid, but at the moment they're not attached together, so that's step 4.
Step 4, here we go, let me read that. So, step 4, put some double-sided tape on the thin rectangle. Peel off the top layer. Use this rectangle to attach to the box lid.
So I've got another strip all the way across. So there's no magic measurements on this little thin piece if you haven't got a church craft kit. Just needs to be the same length as the box. Okay, so I'm going to stick about half of the double-sided sellotape onto the
I
lid,
see.
and then the other half I'm going to
So
stick.
it's like what is known in the trade as a hinge.
It is a bit of a little hinge, that's right. And you're going to be left with a kind of box. And in that box, I could have made my lid a bit smaller. In my box, I'm going to put my crafts over the next few weeks that all describe the character of Jesus. So it's a really good place to put those things to help us remember what we've learned at church over the next few weeks.